Yeah, Pullinger at the back.
That was next to the pub on the airport road.
You're near the airport, coming down as though you're going to the hall.
Did he just build cars or did he race cars?
He was more of an engineering workshops and that. And then there was Access Supplies. The biggest engineering firms, well, Rafferty's were very good.
Rafferty's, yeah.
Yeah, Rafferty's were very good. And so was, a lot of people were trained at the Harbour Works. You know, the Harbour Works was very good for engineering.
Because you could get things made then. I mean, that was the point. People had the skills to do it, didn't they?
Well, Jersey people, believe it or not, I think that anybody trained in Jersey was really a first-class tradesman.
Well, I can remember a part going on the boat, and I had to get it done. I think it was Rafferty's, and this chap, he was doing it. So I said to him, "You're not doing it right," because I worked a little bit in an engineering shop during the war before I went in the army, and I had to tell him what to do.
At Rafferty's. Yeah, well, Rafferty's, there was Ken Green, Peter Louis was there.
Because there's a lot of, I mean, farm equipment, ships, motorboats, fishing fleets,
yeah,
they all require mechanics, don't they?
Well, Danny Moore, he was part of the lifeboat crew. He was
I'm going back to the 60s of this.
Yeah, well, Danny Moore, he had a boat which they went and did the rescue at Samora, you know.
On an everyday, did people like Taylor maintain the cars for you, or did they just...
Well, now, Harold was a very good engineer, but as tuning, he was hopeless on tuning. So I then got Bill Douglas and Jimmy... Jimson, and they...
Where was he?
St
Martin's. There was one of them out at St Martin's.
Jimson was at St Peter when I saw him years ago.
Bill Douglas, he ran the tea company, eh? Tea company, I can't remember.
Oh, down at First Tower, was it?
And Jimson had this cottage on Jubilee Hill. As you go down toward Jubilee, you turn right to go back to St Swan's main road.
Yeah.
A little cottage there, and he had this tin shed at the back. And when I gave him the car, I can remember Bill Douglas. He's got a jet, a petrol jet, and he's counting the drips.
What's coming through?
Terrific tuner.
Well, I remember Jimson when I saw him. I mean, he was quite elderly, but he was still casting pistons, still making pistons.
They made pistons.
That's right. He was still doing that sort of work. I mean, if you can do that, you've got to be quite clever, haven't you?
You know what he did? He drilled and slip pinned every nut and bolt on the Taylor Special, because she was prone to throwing everything off. You know, with the engine mounted on the chassis, the vibration was terrific. And even on one race, I tossed a barrel, one of the barrels, and broke the flanges.
That was the governor there. That was the governor of Jersey. What was his name? I've forgotten.
Gosh, no.
Governor. He was the first one after the war, I think. That particular...
the housing estate was named after him.
He used to go walking stick with a walking stick.
Yeah. But that...
trying to think of his
do
name.
you remember at Springfield, a chap cleared the one of the machines and chopped his hand off? One of the merchants. You wouldn't remember. But that happened at the Springfield. And that was when that, you know, I think that must have been... a hearse of pictures or Munoz's rolls. Johnny Munoz.
John Munoz rolls.
Yeah.
Because Oscar, my brother-in-law,
was it Oscar your brother-in-law?
Yeah. I married Doreen.
Did you? Because they lived right opposite.
Messina.
They lived right opposite Underhills, eh?
That's
in
right.
Victoria,
Yes, that's
Victoria Street.
That's the house, the Granite. That's where I met Doreen. I first laid eyes on her in that house. I went back and played poker with Oscar one night.
Because he was a bit of a gay lad. Well, I mean gay lad in the old meaning of the word. You know, he was really... And he got a funny voice, hadn't he, Oscar?
Squeaker.
Squeaky.
Well, the old man there called him Squeaker.
Did they?
Yeah.
And do you remember Podger, Johnny Podger?
That name rings a bell. Now, He'd be a gay lad.
Eh? Yeah, but they're not actually. He's in doing church work in. That's my son. This is the University of Rhodesia at that time.
And they all wear skirts.
No. It was just that it was. It's a charity do. You know, they do things for charity. The university rag. It was the.
Back to motor cars, I'm afraid. I'm sorry to keep thinking.
You know,
I want to just about the Allard. Tell us about the Allard, because there's...
The Allard, actually, the Allard used to race on the beach. It was Arthrones.
What spec was it? Which one? Do you remember which one it was? Because they used to have a P1 or an A1 or something.
Look, it was.
You repaired
I bought it.
You bought it.
I bought it after the accident.
Yeah, it broke. He crashed it. What happened that evening? I had a pre-bought 2.5 Jag, and it was faster than the Allard.
It was fast.
Yeah.
Was that the Jag?
It was the Jag. Because he came home to the flat, and we were going out for dinner that evening, Saturday evening, and on the way up we stopped at the Bayview and had a quick drink, and the Jag was pushing out exhaust fumes, but the manifold was loose, and Dorian said, "I'm not going in that car." She said, "I can't stand the fumes." So she went with the Allard, the Alpha. And
that was a mistake.
Yeah, I accelerated a lot on the front, and in those days, those Jags, when you got to 55 to 60 miles down the front wheels, used to start flapping.
Did they?
And you had to accelerate through it. And we got to
down the bottom.
We got to St Albans, and it started to drizzle, and up the hill. And of course, I cut back the speed, and as we passed Three Oaks, he accelerated past me. And in those days, it was like Bully Bay. The road was concrete, and of course, he lost it and crashed it into the quarry. You know the quarry there.
Yeah, where the council. It's just a little
He actually
fighting.
knocked the wall down, and the car stopped, and I jumped out the Jag, and ran back to it, and it was completely full of petrol fume. Completely. I dragged Dorian out, broken arms, bashed and Arthur was there.
Who was that? Arthur?
Arthur Owens.
He made a ring.
He's the one that raced
Jersey
against me
House.
afterwards with the 1100 Cooper and the Skidder Special, which I will have a photograph because my son's got in the camera still, because we went to Bewley. And I couldn't believe it. There's a Skidder Special. So when he gets it developed, I could.
Yeah. You were saying about the Allard.
Well, I rebuilt that. See, I bought it from the insurance. And I built that, rebuilt it. I swapped it for an MG with Jack Ulbeck, the painter. And
That's right.
You built it after
I rebuilt it.
After Aluto got killed in it.
No.
Arthur Owens crashed with my wife,
Right,
and he bought the wreck.
No,
Sorry, I was
Aluto,
thinking of the Cadillac Allard.
No, the Aluto, they had a garage. You know where St James Church is? They were up beside St James Church. Eh?
The old man worked for Bill Knight. Bill Knight in David Place.
Yeah.
Who also used to race.
Bill Knight.
Bill Knight, he started racing Batico. Do you remember Batico? And they went international, and they asked me if I wanted to go as a driver. And my wife said, "No, you've had enough."
No, sorry, I was a bit confusing. I thought when you were talking about Allard, I thought you were talking about the Cadillac Allard.
No, there was a beautiful Allard, Stanley
There's
Allard.
still one over here, the white one, the cream one.
Right. No, it was
Your
just
car.
somebody asked me a few months back about Ray Aluto's Allard, and they said, "Oh, I understand it's such and such."
He could have. Look, I had swapped that car.
No, it was just a Cadillac Allard. I tracked the history.
Remember what motor yours had in it?
That's my wife's cousin, right?
Oh, right.
Is it?
Yeah,
Was.
Ray Luto.
No, it's just I got in touch with.
There were two of them, eh? Weren't there two or three of them?
Yeah.
Brothers, mechanics.
Well, Ray killed himself. He turned it over on the beach.
Oh, good.
In an Allard.
Cadillac Allard.
The Cadillac
No, it
Allard.
was just somebody sort of got in touch with me and they said, "Oh, I understand, you know, that the Cadillac Allard is buried in St Juan's Bay on the beach because somebody died in it." And I thought,
Jimmy Lee's
no.
Baker.
And I tracked back and I spoke
Lee's Baker
to.
was all motorcycles.
Motorcycles, eh?
He's still got the engine. Who was it? The Brooklands racer came across with a Jap engine, spare Jap engine. I don't know if it was his bike or his car for Tiger Kitten. I forget which one it was. And that was in 1951, 52. Lease Baker has still got the engine under his bench, the spare engine. He's never used it.
He's told the bloke
Is he
it'll be
still
ready
alive?
next week.
Yeah,
1000cc.
yeah. And I think it's a single. I think it's a single. I don't think it's a twins. I thought it's a single.
Tap engine.
Yeah, single Jap. It used to belong. I can't think of the bloke's name. He used to race at Brooklands. Big naming Jap engines. Can't think what his name was. Clive Loans. It's a Clive Loans engine. It's got CL number 2 engine written on it on the crankcase, and it's under his bench still.
Gee, there's so much history, but I think if you want to get a lot more information about the Jersey International Road Race, the British Road Racing Drivers Club should have a lot.
I want some local stuff. I want. Yeah, I am. We're going to get in touch.
I haven't told you about what happened.
Well, I want to record this, but I want to do it properly because I want to know every. Were you there that year, 1948, when the road race was on? 49.
Of course,
You were there.
There were 3 races.
Did you see that race, the 49?
Yeah.
When the crash?
This wasn't when it crashed.
It was a
In
practice.
And the practice always started in the evening.
Yeah.
They closed the roads.
Yeah.
This is the road race scrapbook.
Gee, you've done well. You've done
I mean,
marvelous.
you know, this goes from
Yes.
you know, from the start and all the preparation and all.
You know that the one, the ERA, the chap who used to run Jowett cars, Leslie Johnson. Do you know the name Leslie Johnson?
Yeah.
He was the chap who developed the engine for the BRM. That was a 16. Was it 16 cylinders?
16 cylinders, huh?
16 cylinders.
Yeah.
And
Tiny capacity, something like about a litre and a half or something.
really, yeah.
1500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how they did 16 cylinders, they must have been thimbles
Yeah.
going up and down.
But he,
Was it a V16 or a W16?
well, I think I couldn't tell you.
Because somebody else did a H16.
Because they did that at the Jard factory, I think. He
they?
owned the Jard factory. Jard car. Do you
Right.
remember the Jard?
I certainly do, yeah. The twin air cooled and all that.
Yeah. And a lot of people
He
wouldn't know
was
this.
sitting on the wall with his 2 boys, and he pushed them back when the car came at us. I remember the car coming around the corner, and there were sparks flying everywhere, and he would do 80 miles an hour when he hit us. But when he got to just before the bend, he was going to go up the valley, but the barrier was crowded with people.
Yeah.
So he decided to go towards Bowmore at that speed.
Yeah.
You know, he couldn't take the corner, he just skidded straight into us, broadside into us. He hit me, he threw me across the bonnet, it smashed on my ribs, threw me up there about 18 foot. I came down on the hard pavement after being hit at 80 miles an hour. I was in convulsions, I was just about finished, but the first aid chap ran round the corner, nearly fell over me, and he said, if I hadn't have got you first, you would have gone at that moment. And he brought me back, he got the air back into my lungs. And,
How old were you then, Bill?
yeah,
How old were you?
24,
When were you born?
23,
There you go.
23,
26.
26. Yeah, 26.
The policeman's name was Duffy.
It was
That's-
Sergeant Dutet.
Ditto.
And the driver's Pierre,
Beard.
and Kingsley Pepper was sitting on the wall with his 2 boys, and Kingsley, as the car bounced, the whole thing folded, didn't it?
Yeah, but it
Broadside straight into us.
is it?
And
Yeah, there's a picture of it there.
yeah. Now, I could tell you a funny story about this. When Christopher bought the Lagarda, one Sunday evening he took it out for a drive, and he was gory. He phoned me about 9 o'clock in the evening. He said, "Dad, my transmission's gone. Could you come and tow me in?" So I went out and I was tying the Lagarda up to the Volvo, and this woman came up, she said, "Oh, I love your car," she said. "We're just renovating a racing car that crashed in 1949. And I said to her, "God, small world." I said, "I'm the sole survivor of that." But what I was so in,
Well, that was over here.
yeah, I was over here at Goree. But they were doing it in England.
Oh, right.
But they owned the car here. They were a resident and owned the old Bugatti.
Renovating that car.
How extraordinary.
I was stupid because afterwards, when I got back home, I thought, "Oh, I should have taken their name and address."
But they weren't living here. They were visiting, were they?
They were on holiday.
How extraordinary.
God,
And they were
small world, isn't it?
renovating that car. And that car, renovated, would, I suppose, would be millions now. Bugattis.
Because he'd raced a couple of races here. He'd raced before, hadn't he?
Ken Beard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
He knew the track. And
He'd done the hill. No, well, he'd done the hill climb. I think.
Yeah.
He was over earlier on for the hill climb.
What would happen if they'd come over? If the cars come over for the hill climb, would they leave the cars here to do the track, or what would happen? Because obviously getting backwards and forwards then wasn't quite so easy.
A lot of them were on trailers, and they were still farmed up in the garage. Yeah,
Were they?
But they were doing lots of around the circuits.
Yeah.
I mean, even the hill climb guys were doing. I mean, like when Bully Bay joined the British Championship in '47, that was the first of the championship. Well, there were 5 other hill climbs, and then I think as time went on, sort of it grew and grew. So I would have thought by '49 that there was a number of hill climbs for them to go.
yeah, I only did Jersey and Guernsey. Battle of the Tower did.
Yeah, but I mean, from the UK
But the others,
guys that
the
were coming
UK,
over.
they used to have,
I mean, Sterling Moss came over and did, I think it was 48.
Sterling Moss. I raced against Sterling Moss. He had the 500,
Yeah.
500 Cooper.
Did you ever race outside the island, Bill?
Only Guernsey. I could
Guernsey.
never get away from the business.
No, right. When those cars were going down, the road race cars, when they were going down the inner road, especially, they must have been doing what, 120, 100?
Oh, I think so.
Do you know?
I mean, that would be quite formidable, wouldn't it, going there? Because that's quite a narrow road, and there's a lot of hard surfaces down there.
And the thing is, I mean, today
Straight.
the safety measures are stringent now, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those days people used to sit down on the pavement.
That's right.
Outside.
And
Well,
also-
they used to stand behind their garden walls.
Oh God.
but you know that the wind through at First Tower used to shift the cars across the. Have you heard that?
Yeah, we should
But
move.
it used to move.
Yes,
Across
I
the
suppose
drive.
going towards what was the pub in those days?
Yeah, the tea.
Where the
birds.
tea.
That's
boat,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you sort of, if you're actually going through past First Tower and you
And
get
narrowed
sort of
up
like,
there, eh?
Yeah.
if you get shunted
Yeah.
that way, straight away you're heading to the factory.
We're trying to collect together bits of film of those events. There are some fabulous bits of film that
What happened
exist.
when, after I got here, I couldn't stand anybody revving their engine alongside of me.
Yeah.
I could not.
Really.
Because I was 3 months, on sticks. And the following year, I volunteered until 1950. I flag marshaled at the end of Victoria Avenue behind 2 bales of straw.
Yeah.
And they were hitting the ruddy pavement in front of me.
Really?
And I haven't miles there.
But you're saying about you didn't like the cars revving, but I mean you entered the hill climb.
Yeah,
or
I
the
still
beach.
entered Hill Climb, but when I was down there, if the car would go,
Oh, right,
I'd move out the way.
I was going to say, because I was looking through and I thought, bloody hell, it didn't take long before he started
I was
controlling
back
again.
in the seat as quick as I could.
Yeah.
So you had raced before that race, before that accident. You were already into beach racing.
Oh,
Yeah, you were already doing so,
yeah.
and hill climbs.
47.
Right.
But there was something else I was going to just thinking of then.